Hey all, it's Ahmed here from Recruitable University, and on today's recruitment program, we are going through the importance of getting clients, business development, how to be keeping the client that you have, so building longer term relationships, should I say, and the importance of online presence and how you can attract clients, how you can even attract candidates from an online presence. And now we're going to go through client retention. So, given that you've followed all these steps and you've managed to get clients and you've sort of built a relationship and you've got those online presence. Now, how can you keep your clients, you maintain those clients? So sometimes servicing the clients is the hardest part, because what clients tend to do is they use your services, and if it's not up to scratch, or if you haven't delivered to the level that they wanted to, then they will find another agency. So what can you do to keep those clients on your books and keep them sort of within your reach? And first one of them, what works wonders, of course, is competitive rates. If you are competitive in your rates, when I mean competitive, as in you're not overcharging, you're not extortionate, you're not, an arm and a leg compared to other agencies, then the clients will actually use your services. They'll come to you more often, and is a way of keeping your clients. Another way of keeping your client also is, when I say competitive rate, is slightly going lower than your competitors. Again, this is more of a, you have to weigh it up. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? It's a call that you have to make. There's pros and cons to it. I initially, when I started my agency, I was actually charging the same rates as industry standard. I wasn't reducing my rates at all just because I was a one man band, just because I was a solo entrepreneur. I wasn't reducing my rate, because the way I looked at it was I'm going to be doing the same amount of work, but I'm going to be earning less, or I'm going to be making less. So I didn't want to take that hit. It's a bit of a gamble, because sometimes they're like, well, why are we going to use your agency? And if you're just going to be like everyone else, what I said was, I can deliver. I've got fantastic candidates available who they can hit the ground running. And once you meet them, once they pick up a trial shift at your organization, you would love them, and you will literally come back to me and say to me, can we have this person long term? So it's how you deliver, how you really like sell. Hey, Ahmed here. I hope you're finding value in this video. If you need any free advice or help with your recruitment agency, or you're thinking of starting your own agency but have some questions, feel free to join our weekly Q&A. You may have seen some clips from it on my page. I'll post a link in my Telegram community, which is completely free to join. I don't even need your email or phone number, and I'll personally be there to answer any of your questions. The link is down below for those of you who are interested. Now let's get back to the video. Depends on your pitch, and we'll go through the sales technique very shortly over the next coming modules. So competitive rates, it's, you have to try to strike a balance and see, okay, am I going to reduce my rate and work harder and work on more on volume, or are you going to keep those rates? I would say, just if you are going to reduce your rate, reduce it slightly, just in order to entice those clients in, but don't go too low. Don't go to a point that, okay, you are incredibly cheap and you work on a higher turnover or higher volume of candidates. So keep your rate competitive. And another thing that keeps your clients what they like is flexible payment terms. So this is whether you are doing temp or you are doing permanent. So I know we went through the pros and cons of temps and perm. So hopefully by now you've decided what you wanted to do. But if you still haven't, then flexible payment terms applies to both. So flexible payment terms is basically where clients are not, that you don't demand the funds from your clients right away, because some clients will like, okay, what are your payment terms? But if it's very quick payment terms, or if you're not flexible, some clients are like, well, we can't afford it, because a lot of the times they get funding as well from a third party, so they are waiting when they get their funding to pay you. So industry standard is 30 days, between 14 to 30 days. So some of my clients pay within 14 days, some of my clients pay within 30 days, and we have those odd, difficult clients who pay 3 months later. So flexible payment terms. So generally speaking, most of your clients will ask for 30-day payment term. Some of them will ask, can you be a little bit more flexible, and would you allow us to pay you within 45 days or 60 days? And the more flexible you are, the easier you can retain your clients. And so this works for both perms and temps. So when I say perms, whenever you find them a permanent member of staff, they will pay you something called a finder's fee. And generally speaking, you will invoice your client on the first day, and we will go through how to invoice clients over the next coming modules as well. But you will invoice your client on the first day that they started the job, and they on our payment terms, we've got actually 14 days. So within 14 days, they pay us the invoice in full. So for example, if a candidate started on the 1st of June, then they pay us on the 15th of June, or on the 14th or 15th of June, the full amount. So this is a 14 days payment term. And again, this also work on temps. So if you are doing temp recruitment and your client, you placed a candidate, and when it comes to temp recruitment, you are actually in charge of your candidate. So you pay them from your own pocket, and then you will invoice it from the client thereafter. Generally speaking, they will pay you within 30 days. And so you've paid upfront to your candidates, and they will pay you back in 30 days. So flexible payment terms is one way of definitely keeping your client sweet, keeping your client and retaining your client. Another way of retaining your client or getting clients, definitely getting clients your way, is enticing CVs. So when it comes to sending emails, so I know we went through an example of what a email looks like to your clients. What I like to do is send an email similar to this. So just saying, hey, I'm so and so calling, emailing from this recruitment agency. I specialize in, the education division in this case, or in the IT sector or the healthcare sector. And I've got a pool of candidates available. And I will, generally speaking, I will attach a CV of one of each. So I will attach a really, really enticing CV, a really good CV of a nurse practitioner that's a level 3, a nurse practitioner that's a level 2, a good CV of a deputy manager, a nursery manager, a SENCO, a special education need coordinator, and a nursery cook. This is for the nursery side of things. So once you've attached enticing CVs of these candidates, you will actually get a lot of clients coming back your way. What I like to do is, once I do attach the CVs, make sure a couple of things. So one, when you are sending CV to clients, make sure you remove any personalized details. So you don't want to have names on there. You don't want to have email addresses on there. You don't want to have addresses on there. You don't want to have any means for your client to be able to find these candidates themselves. You don't want to have that LinkedIn profile or the URL, the link on their website, because what you are then essentially doing is you've just literally handed them on a plate a candidate, and they can just speak to the candidate themselves and book this candidate in behind your back. But of course, if you make sure you've always got terms signed, and we will go through what terms are very shortly over the next coming modules as well. But the importance is, when you are sending CVs, make sure that you are always making it anonymized, remove any personalized details. So it's called a blind CV, or a send out approved CV, whatever terms you want to use. Make sure you send out approved CV, so a CV that has not got any personal details of your candidate. So that's one thing. Another thing that I like to do as well is to remove anywhere that they worked in the past. So if it's a nursery, because we've got the example here of nurseries. So if this nursery practitioner level 3, I would remove any nurseries that she or he worked for in the past, and I just will write nursery and remove the location, because the location will give them an indication of where this candidate is based, especially if you are doing nationwide recruitment. So if you're recruiting for all over the UK and you've targeted this client, you want them coming back to you with their requirement. But if they see that you've only got CVs of candidates in Newcastle and they're based in London, they're not going to respond to your email. But if you send them an email of a CV that is just very vague, so it doesn't give the location, the geographic location of where they are based, then they will come back to you, say to you, hey, the CV looks good. It doesn't actually say where they're based, but we are looking also, we're looking for someone, we are based in Northwest London. Can you find us staff? So make sure, remove personalized details. So don't have any contact details, even references. So don't remove personalized references as well. And references are also one way of business developing. So when you find on the references, a lot of the times is a candidate will put on the reference, I was working at this tech company, and the hiring manager is my reference, or the manager is my reference. They put the email address of the manager and their number. as a point of reference. So it's a really good way also. It's just reaching out to them saying, hey, I came across your details on one of our one of our candidates. You were a reference for, Miriam, or you were a reference for Jonathan. So just wanted to just to let you know, and we also got brilliant candidates like Jonathan, who used to work for you in the past. And do you have any needs? Do you have any requirements at the moment that we can help you with? So it's an easy way of business developing from CVs. So don't overlook this part as well. On the CVs, you've got a lot of references on there. Copy and paste the references and put it into your CRM or your Excel sheet or whatever way you are organizing yourself. So enticing CVs, very important. It will catch their eye and it will bring a lot of business back your way. And I've done this hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of times, and it works all the time. Enticing CVs is very, very important. Another way is shadow booking. So what is shadow booking? Shadow booking is basically, okay, so before we go into so let's go into shadow booking, and then I'll go into the next slide, and it'll give you a bit more content. So it'll give you a bit more context, sorry. So shadow booking is when your client comes back to you. So let's go back to this example that we have right now. So a client sees this email and they will respond back to you saying, hey Joe, I've got a deputy manager vacancy at the moment in Southwest London or Northwest London, wherever. I've got a deputy manager in Southwest London. We are a nursery based in Chelsea and we are looking for a deputy manager. And we're looking for someone next month, 4 days a week for a period of 9 months for maternity cover. This is something common. Maternity cover is something that you see in recruitment all the time. So what you can do is shadow book, and this is a typical tactic that recruitment agencies use. It works, and it's a way of retaining clients. So what you want to do is respond back to the client and say to you, hey, thanks for getting back to me. I've actually had someone available in Chelsea, literally looking for work 4 days a week. It's a perfect match. As a matter of fact, your email came at a very good time. I've got the right candidate available for you. Send them a CV of a potential candidate, even if they may not be available, and they will say to you, perfect, we book this candidate in? And a lot of the times they will just say, can we lock this booking in? So what you want to do is you lock in the candidate, even that they may not be available. So this shift is locked in. So that way it's not going to any other agency. Because as far as they're concerned, your agency, you've delivered, you found them someone. So you've retained this booking, you've retained this contract before it goes out to other agencies. And it's a common tactic that agencies are using all the time. And it will go back, and then that will lead us onto our next slide, which is multiple email accounts, multiple email contacts. So what I mean by this, it's very cheap to go onto GoDaddy. So for example, GoDaddy.com. So you can go on GoDaddy and type in a domain that you want. So let's just say, for example, we want ABCDEFG recruitment specialist. Okay. And okay, I may have misspelled it, but the point is, so we've got the website here. Okay, ABCD recruitment specialist. Okay, got it right. .co.uk. This is going to cost you a penny, 1 pence. So you can buy this email, so this domain, and then you'll get an email that comes with it. So then you'll create an email, recruiter info or mark at ABCDEFG recruitment specialist.co.uk. So now that costs you 1 pence. So then what you want to do is go on GoDaddy again, find yourself another email. So you want to have a couple of email addresses, 4, 5, 3, whatever the number is. So why do you need multiple email contacts? So this way, what a lot of agencies they tend to do as well, and this is a common tactic, is have multiple contacts. So you reach out to clients and you can lock in these shifts that we said shadow booked. Because one of the first thing I'm sure that came to your mind was, well, if I've just shadow booked, if I just ghost booked a candidate who doesn't exist or who's not available for those shifts, well, will that not affect the reputation of my agency? Will I not lose credibility? So what happens is you use many different multiple email contacts, so aliases or whatever you want to call it, and you can shadow book via those contacts. So what you don't want to do is shadow book via your main agency, because you don't want to lose or tarnish your image. What you want to do is make sure you are looking after your image when it comes to your agency, that you deliver, that you want to have a track record and testimonials of your services that you've provided. And what you do instead is have those multiple email domains, and honestly, you don't just need a website. So a majority of them, they won't use check out your website. They'll just see Tom or Mark or whatever, Jonathan, sent an email out, and they send an email out that looks like this, and it looks really good. We're looking. They will respond back to your email, and they will ask you, may we book this candidate in? Now you've just locked it in, you've retained it, and the contract's not going anywhere. So it gives you a bit of leeway, it gives you a bit of time, especially if the contract, let's just say they're looking for someone for next month. You've got now 30 days leeway. You've got 30 days of time where you don't have competition, where you don't have other agencies competing with you, trying to fill the vacancy as well. Because as far as the client are concerned, you've delivered and you have filled their vacancy. Well, I hope you've enjoyed and benefited much as much as we can on this course and on this module. And I will see you on the next one.